Hey everybody, my name's Alan. On behalf of the crew, I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. You know, it really is an interesting thing because, you know, before the show, a lot of people, ask me, what are you going to talk about at the opening? And really, sometimes I'll get a thought driving over here, I'll hear a song or something like that, but most time, literally, I just, meditate for a few seconds before the countdown happens to do the show. And, really in my heart, the prayer is, let truth come through me, let love come through me, let inspiration and a vibration that people who are feeling the show and watching the show can feel included and can feel infinite and can feel the creativity and the dedication and the collaboration that goes into making this show happen, and to making a hunger, in a sense, grow in people to come together joyously and lovingly, to share the bounty on this planet, and to share it in a way where all of us, or most of us, and the oceans and the mountains and the trees and the dolphins are experiencing that harmony and that delight and joy of being sentient beings and being alive on this planet at this time. And for one reason or another, up until this point, there seemingly is disharmony, there seemingly is a separation from that recognition, from that knowing, from that realization of who we really are, of our connection to each other, of our connection to everything, of our oneness, of our dedicated to the oneness, that we're here in dedication to that love, to that service, to serve the love. And that's why we've taken human bodies, especially in this auspicious time. And now is the time. Now is the time for us to really make that commitment, make that, in a sense, final commitment that now is the time, and now will continue to be the time that we serve the love, that is our intention, that is our commitment, and that love is our friend, our dear friend of Bridging, from Harold Becker from the Love Foundation, he always uses the term unconditional love, because the love that's grand, the love that's universal, the love that's infinite, the love that's inclusive, not based on family or religions or countries or things that in a sense have lines of either theory or lines of demarcation on the ground that separate us. But that root experience, that heart experience, when we are all one, we are all from that one family based on love, that people call God, that people call Brahman, truth. I mean, there are a lot of words for it. But now is a time for us to come together as a human family, as an earth family, as a galactic family, as a family of love, as a family of brothers and sisters of each other, and each dolphin and whale and ant and spider and ocean and mountain. And intend to serve that, intend to serve the whole. And we can do it. And really, together we can, collaboratively we can. I mean, it seems like there are a lot of obstacles to overcome. It seems almost like an impossibility. But trust me on this one. If we come together, one of us and more of us and more of us, and together we can. We can make this planet Earth a heaven on earth. A bridging heaven and earth is in the process and will continue to be in process, and it's just our opportunity to line up with that, to surrender to that experience, to be in that intention. And we are very fortunate to have that opportunity now. So, again, please, look inside yourself. Look inside the deepest part of yourself and find where you are my brother. You might not be the same color, you might not be from the same country, you might not speak the same language. You might not be as tall, as short, as thin, as fat. There are seemingly a lot of difference. You might not wear a shirt like this in your right mind. But there is a place in you where I am your brother. And we can find that place, where everyone is your brother, where everyone is your sister, where those dolphins and whales and oceans and mountains are you. The Father and you are one. The Father and I are one. And we could all individually and collectively have that experience. And then what a world we will have, and what a joy it will be to be on this planet and to be collaborative and creative and playing, all of us together. So again, tonight's guest is her life from early on through an extraordinary series of events and long and amazing journey, eclectic path into her own experience of truth, love, oneness, channeling. Daniel Metraux is an extraordinary gifted spiritual teacher. She's a channel. She channels a group of amazing beings known as Galexis. And their main intention is the process of emerging into that experience, of helping and enabling human beings to come into our light, our glory, our love, our oneness, our experience of that connection. And she's here to be with us, to tell her story, to channel, to allow us to experience her gifts and her amazing journey. And we have two beautiful videos. These were put together by, we talk a lot about the extraordinary input we get from all over the world, and extraordinary talents that come to us through the art project, through the guests and all that. But this extraordinary being, Pat Peace, who is a world traveler now, she's living in the Canadian area, or Canada as they call it. And she got the bridging art videos, and she did two parts of this video. And she got these people from the Philippines, Annapurna Music. And the music and the art and the way she did it and the opening and the closing and just her incredible gift and her commitment to that love have put together so much of a beautiful video. And we have that in two parts. And as most of you know, we're also in the middle of an extraordinary art project that came as a vision. It came as part of a dream to reach out to the world as a healing of the heart of the planet, like we've been talking about. As an acupuncture of the planet, to have all these extraordinary people create a new original piece based on the theme Bridging Heaven and Earth. And the project is infinite and it's inclusive. There's no skill level, there's no size, there's no format requirements. All it is the intention to be part of a collaboration, a healing, a love, a creativity together. And we have two beautiful pieces. One is done by Ginger and one is Kellyanne Turney, who's from Whidbey Island, Washington. So pieces are coming in from all over. They are so beautiful and so powerful. And then other friends of Bridging have brought this extraordinary ametrine piece in. So ametrine, this is a 27-pound large Bolivian ametrine cluster. And our friends Mikhail and Shari from Rockau World. Now ametrine is an extraordinary thing. It has the basic properties of both amethyst and citrine. Its energies are said to stimulate the intellect, rid the aura of negative energy, release negative emotional programming, bad habits, and addictions. Although we at Bridging don't have any of those, but for some of you, you might need that. It is a wind and fire energy stone combining stimulation with creativity and action. Keep it near your computer or wherever you do mental work. It relieves tension and reduces resistance to action with the purple and yellow tones of ametrine. It aids in meditation and boosts psychic abilities. So it's another way that people are bringing their extraordinary gifts and talents and just these extraordinary crystals and beings and opportunities in art and creativity to serve the love. And that is what we need to do individually and collectively. Commit to serving the love. We know in our heart when we do it, and we know in our heart when we're not really doing it. And so the more we can do it, the more we can feel that infinite, that oneness, that love, and the joy. and be in joy. So join me in a short meditation, then we'll have the first part of the Pat Annapurna music video, art music video. So join me in a short meditation. Thank you. So this is the bridging art music video in 2 parts, done by Pat Peace and Annapurna music from the Philippines. Enjoy. Hi everybody, didn't you love that video? So it's Annapurna music done by Pat Peace, and all the pieces in there were from the International Healing Art Project. So join us, I mean it's a real opportunity. And the piece, incredible piece of art Ginger did, the Goddess of Creativity. I mean it's just such a beautiful piece. Why don't you talk about that, you know, how you came to do that?
Well, I was thinking about how much creativity is required, in a sense, for all of us to experience our divinity. It's part of the way we connect with God. It's part of the way we connect with the divine within us. And because the essential nature of the divine is to create. And here we are created, and here we are as the children of the divine, in our own divine spark creating ourselves. So this is the goddess of creativity. And the goddess of creativity I call it a goddess because it is a feminine aspect to bring in that creativity. It's giving birth. And what she's basically doing is she's bringing light and sound and the vibrations and the frequencies, pulling them together and putting them into moving them into light and then down into manifestation. And deliberately there are 5 bands of light that stand for the 5 planes. The physical, astral, causal, supercausal, and then the 5th plane of the first plane of pure light and spirit.
Wow.
So
yeah, it really catches that.
Thank you.
Yeah, when we saw the JPEG when it first came in, it was like, wow, that's another talent Ginger had that we weren't really aware of. It's amazing. So why don't you talk a little bit about how you came to, channel and your whole spiritual growth. And there are so many, when I was reading your bio, so many interesting things that happen as you progressed. And
well, to get to a place to where you're really experiencing so much of this unfoldment that comes through the channeling with the energies, the high energies that come through, and to be able to open to that and so on, it's a long journey. And all of us have had really intriguing and long journeys. And mine has gone from very, very young, very early memories that I had of awareness of who I was and my sense of connection to eternity as a child, asking questions that could not be answered. And so, of course, the unfoldment of that is that all through my life, I've been given, and this is one of the wonderful things that happens to all of us on the spiritual journey, we're given these wonderful opportunities to explore who we are and to give us feedback. And so these challenges and these opportunities that come our way are always something that enable us to discover more of ourselves, to discover more of what we're doing here, who we are in our true essence. And so through my journey, I've had to wear many hats, many explorations of creativity. I was a professional musician for a while, professional artist. I was a nutritionist and a counselor. I did hypnotherapy, and in that process also discovered so much connection to all different planes of existence. I myself had a whole period of my life where I was dragged out of my body into the astral plane, and I traveled all over the place and saw really many wild and sometimes very scary things. And so I sought to find out what that was, to find the peace that was behind all of that. And one of the things that I think is the most profound that I have discovered in my spiritual journey is that, and I think this is everyone's journey, especially because we have chosen to be physical, and that is to close the gap. There's a gap between the material and the spiritual. The way you put it is like bridging heaven and earth. There's something about the reason we're here, we need to be here. There's a woman asked Galexis one time in a workshop, what planet am I from? And Galexis kind of laughed and said, we could tell you anything, and it wouldn't make any difference. What value is that? You've chosen to be here. And so the gap between the spiritual and the material means that we don't have to retreat. We don't have to go away from our lives. We don't have to disappear. We don't have to hide away to meditate, to find the truth. It's right here. It's given to us in every experience that we have. It's given to us in every feedback that we get from what we say, what we do, what we think, what we feel. The universe gives us perfect feedback. We're always in the most appropriate, most perfect place and time for us. It takes a long time to learn that, because most of the time, you know, when we're young and we're children, we expect our parents to do the right thing, and generally the parents don't know how to do all the perfect things. We don't have perfect parents. We don't have perfect girlfriends and boyfriends and mates and so on. And eventually we realize all of these are important for us. All of these bring out our capacity for self-discovery and love and growth, and enables us to take our power back, to own who we are, to love who we are, to value who we are. And in doing so, we close the gap. We bring heaven to earth, as you would put it. We bring the spiritual into our daily life and integrate it there and ground it here in the material plane, so that no matter what we do it in the most spiritually appropriate, loving, caring way. And in that integration is tremendous joy and bliss. And that's, in a sense, what I feel my journey's about, and it's still continuing. For example, I went through a period where I had tremendous insomnia, and I just could not sleep. I mean, I maybe sleep 1 or 2 hours in a night. And so my husband and I were traveling in our RV, and we'd go and stay at
Did you find yourself tired?
Oh, I was exhausted, but I was also hyper.
Right.
Because
Hyper
I
and exhausted.
didn't, my thyroid was hyperactive, and that was what was keeping me awake at night, and I wasn't able to get it down. I didn't really know what was going on. Doctors had a time, you know, trying to figure out what my problem was, and so on. And in the meantime, I was having all these tremendous awarenesses of all the mental stuff and all the emotional stuff and all the crap that I would mull about at night, you know? So we were on an RV trip, and in an RV trip, you travel, and then you park your RV in an RV park, right? Okay, lots of other RVs. Every single RV park that we parked in, it was like a total miracle. Everyone, there was somebody there who could disturb my sleep. And
the perfect storm.
The perfect way of disturbing me. And it was different from one park to another. One time I was smoked out by somebody's fire. Another time they had a barking dog. Another one had an alarm that would go off and on all night long. Okay? Another one is that young adolescent males drove through in the middle of the night back and forth in their souped up, you know, machines and cars and motorcycles and so on, and in other ones they'd all get up really super early and they'd have to warm up all their engines, and you have a big motorhome sitting next to you going bum, 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 bum. You can't sleep through that, you know. And it took me a long time before I started to laugh at the absolute perfection of this, so that I could break my sense of judging whoever it is that was disturbing me, blaming them, blaming the universe, being angry and upset about it, and going through all my mental yama. And when I finally came to peace about it and could laugh about the cosmic absurdity of it, it ended.
That's far out.
You see? It's kind of like
you sold the RV.
No. No, we still have that wonderful RV.
No.
All right. No,
just kidding.
But the point is that we all have our perfect lessons, our perfect discoveries.
Yeah, we talk about everything's perfect to getting better.
Right.
So how did you come to, you know, start channeling in that whole path in Galexis? Why don't you talk a little about that?
All right. My husband Daniel and I attended a lot of workshops. We had private sessions.
Motorhome to RV?
No.
Okay, we're off of that.
Okay,
right?
we're off of that. Yes.
Right, okay.
All right. So we would go to workshops and spiritual development workshops and channeled workshops. And then we'd also have private readings with various channeled beings. And we really were into it. And the one that we seemed to be really most connected to and we really enjoyed the most was Lazaris. And at one point, Lazaris began to be very well known. And as a result, our regular appointments got spaced out further and further, shortened further, spaced out and shortened and further, and so on. And finally, they said, we can't schedule anymore for you. And at first we panicked and we said, what are we going to do? And then we realized we've gotten dependent on this, right?
That's amazing. Well, we do that all the time.
Yeah. It's like, well, duh,
Hello, everybody.
Right.
I've done it again. No, it's amazing, really.
Right.
Yeah.
So what we decided to do is that we decided to become more self-sufficient. So he and I would take turns lying down on our bed, and the other one would ask questions, and the one lying down would try to tune in and get intuitional hits from spirit guides or whoever, and try to answer stuff. So we would have to think up questions, and we would ask back and forth. And it was very quickly apparent that I had some kind of talent at this, because not only did I start getting yes and no answers, I mean, this was a slow form of kinesiology, right? Mm-hmm. Give me this answer. Yes. See, it was pretty slow.
Right.
So after a while, not only did I get yes or no, but I started to get pictures, messages, images, all sorts of stuff started to come in. So I began realizing that the interpretations were coming in. So I was developing a lot of psychic ability this way. So I actually went and attended a training on channeling. And the person teaching it was a trance medium from New York named Alexander Murray. And he said, okay, now, this last class, this is going to be the class you're going to channel. And you're going to channel directly. None of this, they're saying this and they're saying that. No, it's got to come directly through you. And it did. And it was a really wild experience to channel directly, to feel this beam of light come into the top of my head, vibrate intensely throughout my whole body, my whole head filled with light, and in it came this vibration that turned into a voice that I spoke. It was overpowering.
And that was the first time
that
it
was
happened
the first
that
time.
way.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you'd been getting all these
I'd been
messages.
getting all these messages, all of a sudden now it was direct. And so from that point on, it really snowballed. And that I was channeling maybe 3 or 4 beings in a night. Daniel would sit there, and I would go into trance, and I would channel one, and then I would come out, and then I'd go back in and channel another one, come back out, and so on. And this was very tiring, because going in and out of trance, somehow or another, there was a stress involved. So one night, and this was in July of 1988, someone new came in. And this one said, well, we're a group. And what we've decided to do, because it's so stressful for you to go in and out and in and out, we're just going to do it together. We're all going to you just have to go into trance once, and we'll pass the microphone around, so to speak. Hey, what could be better than that, right?
Wow.
So that was the beginning of Galexis.
I guess it depends what group it was. But
well,
yeah, right. If it's an honorable group, it's
well,
good.
that's one of the things you have to learn when you channel, is you have to have a really good gatekeeper.
Uh-huh.
The gatekeeper.
And how does that work?
Well, Alexander Murray connected us into channeling, and he says, okay, who is your gatekeeper? The gatekeeper is the one who comes through and makes sure that you're protected, that you're safe, that the good vibration comes through, that your intentions are served, and really opens the gate, lets the energy through, the consciousness through, and then back and forth, and so on. They're kind of like the organizer of this process. And my gatekeeper at the beginning was Irene. Now it is Galexis, of course. But it keeps the vibration in such a way that you're not harmed or distressed in any way. Now, I had seen a whole bunch of other channels over the years, and I had been a member of the Spiritualist church at one time, and I saw all those, the older trance mediums, the ones who did the seances and so on, and to a T, they were all ill. They were all sickly. There was something very,
Who doesn't want to get information from them?
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah, some of them were so obese, they could barely move. They were in so much pain.
Wow.
And I said, you know, I'm not going to go there.
Right, that doesn't
I
seem
said,
like
that
a
doesn't
healthy
look like
place.
any fun, so
Right.
I don't want to channel any more than I am, you know, which
Right.
is occasionally. And then I made an arrangement with Galexis. So we have this arrangement that every time I go into trance, they heal, they give me a healing. They energize me. And so sometimes if I channel late in the evening, like I am buzzed because the energy is just so strong.
And so have they explained, what Galexis is? I mean, are they in certain realms? I mean, how does that work?
They're from all over, and they don't really like to talk about their membership because they say that's very distracting. Suffice it to be that there's like ascended masters or whatever that come. They come and go. There's a basic group, and then there's others that come and go. Sometimes they call in specialists. We had one guy come in, a specialist who was into stock trading. Go figure.
Who doesn't want somebody from the New York Stock Exchange?
That's right.
Right.
That type of thing. So, and every time they come in, I get a little boost, an energy, a little health. Now, when I first started channeling, I had fibromyalgia. I had chronic fatigue. I was not healthy at all. I was toxic. So I was saying, I cannot do this. I'm not willing to be sicker, so you've got to help me. So in the healing that they've done over the years, and in 1994 we started to do it more publicly, I've noticed that my chronic fatigue, my fibromyalgia, and all my aches and pains and all these kinds of things have been disappearing gradually. My health is improving better and better.
And we're gonna talk to Galexis. They're gonna come through you in the next section. All right. So maybe what we'll do is wait for that, and we'll have the second video, which is the second half of the first video about the International Art Project done by Pat Peace, Annapurna Music, World Music from the Philippines, all the artists from the Art Project, the Healing Art Project, and really, please join us. It really is helpful for everyone. So enjoy. Hi, everybody. So, yeah, I love that video. Pat did an incredible job, and the music is so powerful. And it just shows when collaboration from all over the world, we never met these people in person, but the love when it really gets to collaborating. I mean, there's no time, there's no space, there's no countries, it's just love in motion. So we all really have the opportunity to do that. And the incredible piece you're singing between Ginger and I is by Kelly Antyuhin. It's called The Center of the Universe is Really Everywhere. It's a piece of digital art. Kelly's an incredible being from Whidbey Island, Washington. And you know, she came across the art project and just immediately wanted to do a piece. And literally, I think she stayed up all night producing this just piece of amazement. You know, it's just very, very beautiful and very powerful. So everyone's welcome to join us again. So, okay, Ginger, so we're going to get a little channeling from Galexis now. So why don't you, whatever you do to get into it, and just,
all right.
You know, we'll...
Basically, all I do is I just close my eyes, I hold a crystal, and this is kind of keeps my body knowing, hey, it's here, you know, so I can kind of get out of the way and let Galexis come through. Okay, that's it. All right, so see you later then. Yeah. All right, we are here, and we are Galexis. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing? We shake hands on Earth as well, so we're lucky there. So why don't you tell everybody what you think would be very important for them to hear right now?
Well, the most important thing that everyone needs to know is that you are divine by your very nature. You're a powerful reality creator. And as we overheard a little bit earlier when the channel was speaking to you, that everything that comes to you in your reality is created by you and your crew. That is, all those people who you call spirit guides on ascended masters and entities and so on that work with you in your group. Everyone has many who work with them. And so if you work with your group, you'll find that you can consciously become aware of all the input that you are creating to come to you, to show you who you are, to reflect to you who you are, so that you can claim your spiritual nature. So you can become the reality creator that you are, consciously rather than unconsciously. Because everything that you have here already, you have unconsciously created. But when you consciously create it, you come into the awareness of who you are, you own your own divinity, and from that place you bring, as you would say, heaven to earth. You bring your sense in yourself into your sense of presence, your radiance, and you fulfill your mission of self-realization. When you realize yourself, then you have the capacity and you are ready to give the gift of you to your reality, to change it, to heal it, to expand it in whatever way can bring in the greatest light, the greatest love, the greatest connection to the oneness. You see, everyone has two missions: the personal mission of self-realization, and then the global mission, in whatever role that you wish to play. Form is not important, intention is. Your spirit is, your heart is, your love is, your value is. And what is happening on the planet right now, going from an older reality, a reality based on fear and pain and shame and deprivation and scarcity, is now moving into a reality that you are participating in by your own learning, by your own discovery of yourself, changing your reality, You, a remedy for the planet. You, a homeopathic tincture, you may say. You know, in homeopathy, the whole concept of it is that you take a substance and you dilute it. And the more you dilute it, the stronger and more potent it becomes. In other words, you dilute it 100 times, that's powerful. But you dilute it 1,000 times, it's way more powerful, 1,000,000 times more powerful, because then it becomes the essence. Then it becomes the light, the spirit. It is not bounded or limited by the form. You are like that. You are phenomenal. You are changing your world by becoming conscious in it. And this pivotal time, a time of moving through the chaos, a time of moving through the darkness, your time to learn how to express yourself through your divine channels, to emerge into your light, into the ownership of your divinity, and then to radiate that into the world. And every one of you will do it on your own pace, your own tempo, in your own perfect timing. There are some, those of you who are watching us, listening to us, or most of you are what we call first wavers, part of that first wave of people who have come to be on this planet at this time, at the particular age that they are. All of you, at the correct age, the correct gender, there were no mistakes, so that you could bring forth a new world together. Part of your mission, dear one. Part of the bridging in heaven and earth mission. It is all our mission. It is our mission, it is your mission, it is the world's mission. You see, and the three channels of your divine expression through which you wish to work, make sure that this is in your daily life, because this is what closes the gap between the material and the spiritual. First channel, love, touch, heal. This is the connection. You want to be connected. You desire connection. You want to give love, receive love. You want to touch others, be touched. You want to heal. You want to be healed. Love, touch, heal. The second channel is to move energy. It is a dynamic, passion-oriented channel of creativity, to create. It is part of your divine capacity. One of the things on your bridging show is you have all these contributions of creative inspiration, people using that beautiful creative channel, and together all the art, all the efforts, all the dreams of people coming together creates a flow of energy. There's a divine flow. The passion, the motivation, the intention moves a flow of energy. You know the old saying, go with the flow, right? That's what we're talking about in the second channel, the creative flow. The third channel, all of you are familiar with. To learn, to grow, to understand, to become more aware, to be able to apply that awareness, to understand more about who you are, what your nature is. In your physical plane life, your temperament, how that works. In your spiritual life, your divine nature. And in one of these three channels, or maybe in one proportion or another, in all three, you find something that excites you, something that calls you, something that pulls you, that you become focused upon, that you utilize to leverage yourself, to explode, in a sense, to the next level of yourself, to your awareness of a greater capacity to give and to receive, to be. And then you become of service. Not a service in a sense like being a doormat, and not in servitude, but in service to the oneness, to the light. And yet, at the same time, as you enter the oneness, as you explore the ecstasy of being, you are that divine self, that divine nature. And it can be through any form. You see, most people think, oh, if you're doing great spiritual work on the planet, you must be a big spiritual teacher. You've got to be a big honcho. You've got to write whole bunches of books, and you've got to do this, and you've got to go there, and you've got to impress a whole bunch of people, or you've got to do some incredible charity work, or you've got to do that. But you see, there are so many of you beautiful light beings. Any one of you can make the change. Any one of you can impact the whole world. Just from meditating in your bedroom in the morning. You see, you don't have to take a form that looks like success. You could. That might be what serves you. It may be through music and art. It may be through poetry and writing. But it doesn't even have to be through a creative channel. It may be through sending love and prayers, or just simply touching people with love. And every person that you touch, a ripple of love, like the ripple effect, moves out across the planet. You have all come at this time, a network, if you will, of many beings all around the world. You know each other on the other side. You're connected. The other side being, of course, that non-physical place where you are more of your essence and you know more of who you are. But that group and you have come together. There's going to be, over the next few years, much more awareness of the other members of your group. There are some children, what they call the rainbow children, who can connect on this web, World Wide Web, so to speak, on a psychic level, connect with and know other members of the network who may live across on the other side of the planet. Whereas you may not get to that place yourself consciously. You are part of this, what we call the society of dreamers, the ones who are dreaming a new dream, a dream based on love, on the rule of love rather than the rule of law, who are based on safety, love, freedom, and empowerment, a new way of being. That's, in its essence, what we have come to work with, is to help anyone who wishes our assistance. We can work personally through meditation. We can work in a sense of giving step-by-step ways of integrating the material and the spiritual so that you can be empowered in your physical life. So that, perhaps, is our essential message.
Beautiful. It's a good message. Really. That is really, I mean, so in essence, we talk a lot about in the show that, you know, people really, in their heart, just want to give love and share it, feel love and share it.
The love, touch, heal, it's so profound. It's part of your divinity, your divine nature. You must do it, in a sense. You're compelled to do it because it's your nature, you see.
And so would you say that we're working through whatever's blocking us from attaining these channels in a more clear and more precise way? And that's what this time is happening?
Yes, well, what the chaos is about, you notice there's a lot of chaos on the planet, and it's intriguing that it's specifically economic, is kind of the precipitant. And what that's doing is that's bringing people's awareness of the material, in a sense, the illusion of the material plane, the sense of, you know, here it is, there it goes, you know. And in this process, people are having to face their shame, the shame over failing, the shame over not being the wild worldly success that they think they're supposed to be. And then saying, well, what is it then? What is real? What is of value? What is all abiding? You know, what remains? What is true? You see. And so this search for truth is probably at its height right now, because of this darkness, you might call it, from the economic crisis. You see? And
if you could give in like one sentence or one paragraph.
that's a challenge.
Well, that's what makes you great. that you can meet that challenge. What would you like everyone to come away from this channeling? If they had never, experienced this channeling from you, what would you like them to come away with it?
The most important thing is to recognize that all the stuff, all the story about yourself and the story about things, all the beliefs, all the attitudes that you hold about life, all the mechanisms, the emotions, and all the thoughts, and all that kind of structure, that underneath it all, you are light. You are light, because that's your nature. You are by your nature divine. You are by your nature light. And so if you're feeling challenged, if you're feeling unhappy, if you're going through emotional ups and downs, financial up and downs, health up and downs, searching and feeling lost and floundering as so many are right now, that is, in a sense, a good sign, because if you can let yourself be lost, let go, surrender, in a sense, to the realness, to the light, and you can touch underneath, you can reach underneath and find the ground of being that exists within you, that place of peace, you can rebound and you can emerge. You too can emerge. You can see how you can be the person that you wish to be, not all the forms of success.
Do you want Ginger to come back, or would you like to finish out this interview by yourself? So you have to decide, because in about 20 seconds. All right, well, let's just finish.
Why don't we just end there? Because that light that's the peace. That is the most important thing. You are the light.
You are the light. Okay.
You are the one.
Let's bring Ginger back.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking with us. All right. Farewell.
Okay, and if anybody wants any information about Ginger, Galexis, the art project, call me, and all this is available. 805-687-2053. Alan, 805-687-2053. Good night. God bless you.